So, have you ever felt hangry, that toxic combination of hungry and angry that makes you a bad friend? Or perhaps slungry, a combined state of sleepy and hungry? The slungriness is commonly regulated by two brain systems called the endocannabinoid and the orexin systems. So cannabis and orexins both make you have the munchies. However, cannabis also makes you drowsy, whereas orexins, they keep you awake. Based on this information, I was really curious about the biological mechanisms of these two systems. For example, how do the cannabinoid and the orexin receptors potentially interact on the cell surface? Or what would happen if somebody took cannabis and orexin drugs at the same time? Would their response be different compared to if they took these drugs separately? So finally, I wanted to ask, are the answers to these questions different in males versus females? So I injected male and female mice with drugs targeting the endocannabinoid and the orexin receptors. And in order to test sex differences, I had to test all of the females in the same phase of their menstrual cycles in order to control for fluctuations in sex hormones. So after their initial injections, I ran a series of tests to see how their responses indicated either sedation or drowsiness or hunger. And this is what I found. I found that when the cannabinoid receptor was targeted alone, there was an increase in sedation that was not observed when the orexin receptor was targeted alone. However, when the two receptors were targeted together, there was a synergistic effect in sedation that was much larger than the initial response of cannabinoids. And this trend was similar in males as it was for females. However, males were more sensitive, which was interesting because males are traditionally less sensitive to cannabinoid effects. However, in these studies in the past, they might not have taken into consideration the menstrual cycles of the females. So the legalization of cannabis has resulted in this great push for cannabinoid pharmacology research with a huge amount of momentum in the last 10 years. And 25% of all Canadian adults experience or they report dissatisfaction in their sleep. And moreover, 48% experience insomnia at one point in their lives. Orexin drugs are commonly prescribed for insomnia, and in many cases, patients are concurrently self-medicating with cannabis for their insomnia with or without telling their physician. As a pharmacologist, I'm really interested in the drug-drug interactions between orexin and cannabis drugs in the context of brain diseases that involve abnormalities in sleep and appetite. As a molecular biologist, I'm really interested in the physical interactions of these two receptors on the cell and how that changes physiology. And finally, as a meme-obsessed millennial, I want to shed light on the term slungry, so the combination of sleepy and hungry.